Good afternoon, everyone. With the Thanksgiving record cold, wait for it. You knew it wouldn't take but a day. Global warming is causing all the record cold in the Northern Hemisphere. Oh, wait, they forgot the Southern Hemisphere. Let's take a look at that. Record cold in Australia, dust storms in Australia, lost crops. Frozen crops, vineyards decimated. And I guess we'll have to explain the record cold going into summer down in Southern Africa. Oh, and also South America. What about that record cold, too, heading just a week before summer? And you knew it would be damage control the minute Thanksgiving was over. Winter weather extremes in the U.S. and Europe messing with giant airstreams up to the stratosphere, bringing us not only more heat extremes in the summer, but potentially also cold spells in the winter. You mean massive all-time coldest ever since 1880. You should see how many cold records were broken. I don't mean broken, smashed through the Northeast and all the way up into the Maritimes up to Baffin Island. So global warming can further disrupt the dynamics in our atmosphere. There is nothing that CO2 cannot do. It can even cool the Atlantic Ocean. It can cool the oceans below Australia. But one thing that is noted during the grand solar minimum is extreme anomalies in our jet streams. Look at these massive waves. Finally, some really good footage coming in after the balconies were wiped off in Tenerife and the Canary Islands. Images of the waves hitting the shoreline. Looks like a good 20 foot on the face. You got to realize those guys standing there 6 foot tall, 2 meters, and then take that out into the water, even maybe 30. But look at how high this spray is coming up. That's 60 foot. But the Potsdam Institute noting that Northern Hemisphere, Europe, and North America, global warming affected. Let's start last week with the record cold in Australia. Unusual front from Antarctica. That is the exact same types of temperatures, 25 degrees Celsius below normal temperatures, like 30 to 32 Fahrenheit under the norm. Let's go back 2 weeks. Look at these cold temperatures. I didn't know global warming would affect the southern hemisphere as well going into summer, just weeks before summer. Coldest November morning in 17 and 15 years, depending on where you were. Lowest November temperature in 35 years, lowest since 2006, coldest in 12 years, coldest in 8 years. I thought we were supposed to be warming into infinity, especially going into summer. I thought our summers were going to get hotter. Apparently not in the southern hemisphere, because there's more record cold on the way. These are the temperatures looking out to November 27th. And 3 days after that is the official start of summer in the southern hemisphere, but it's going to snow. Summer snow. Not only do we see summer snow across the northern hemisphere this year, I know Australia is just one continent. We'll look at the other ones. Massive dust storms accompanying the wind. Looks more like something blowing in Saudi Arabia, in the Middle East, than it would in Australia. Now, preceding the front, of course, you had these massive winds blowing all the dust in the air, and then whoosh, the snows came. Now, see, the images like this, I looked through all the videos. I had to choose the best screen grab to really show you. Now, what the videos show you on that very front screen is just, a couple flurries coming down, and they had to admit it. But in this whole record snow event going on, those are the two lines that Sydney Morning Herald gives you for this entire event. It's a video with 2 lines. That's it. And the first half of the video is just a couple flurries coming down and a little bit of raindrops. You have to go to the end of the video and then find this footage. But ABC Weather does a little bit better job. At least they have these screen grabs there that show the amount of snow that has come down. You got thunder snow, dust storms, gale force winds, record cold temperatures, more snow, canceled fly fishing championships due to, global warming, snowfall in summer almost. And if you want to know what a grand solar minimum is, jump over to the reading list that I put together in Amazon. It'll give you a great timeline moving out as this EDI grand solar minimum intensifies, and also explain how it will absolutely affect your life and the life of everybody you know on this planet moving through 2023 into the global food shortages at 2025 into 2028. Speaking of which, this is a perfect example right here. During these same storms, guess what? Vineyards wiped out. But also take a look at the crops right there. Those were setting flower, wiped out. So more crop losses across Australia, and they had a massive amount of loss of wheat this year due to the drought in the southeast. Now look at the ice and frost on these crops. So apparently they lost 80% of their vineyards. West Australia, due to the same cold that was last week. The vines, same thing. They're almost ready to flower. I mean, they're going in. Summer is a week away down there, and it's still snowing and record cold and Arctic fronts. And like I said, Southern Hemisphere, it's a big hemisphere. Look at South America. See all that light pink in there, that blue? That's way below normal temperatures across a large swath. And I've been getting a few reports. Thank you to my subscribers to send me this from Santa Catarina. Never would have found that on my own. Talking about the extreme low temperatures and frosts around San Joaquin. These are the exact same areas that we have seen again and again and again these last 3 years, getting pelted with record cold temperatures. And take a look at what should be tropical vegetation covered in frost. A week before summer, no less. Okay, if it's one isolated incident and it's just in Australia or just in New Zealand, I could say, well, that could be isolated. But the forecast is going into a grand solar minimum, descending into this thing. And here we are getting frost across South America up toward the equator, no less. That's unbelievable. Here's your timeline. We're going to get one more slight bump on a solar cycle 25, predicted 50 sunspots or under. And then we are down into another full-on grand solar minimum, temperature drop globally, and you would expect as we trickle in, you're going to start to see these events. And this is all because of our sun decreasing its activity state. And if you're unfamiliar with what that's all about, also I've linked in Electric Universe reading list. Understand what plasma is, Birkeland currents, how our star is an externally powered body in space. Interesting reading. I have about 20 books in there all about electromagnetism and how the sun's magnetic field connects to the Earth's magnetic field. And with all these changes we're seeing, as the sun steps down, we're going to see some incredible events with jet streams and magnetosphere right on our planet. Oh, and let's stay in the Southern Hemisphere. Southern Africa, looking at 10, 12 degrees Celsius below normal. That's right around 20 Fahrenheit below normal. And you see down to the southwest there, more cold on the way. And it's all supposed to be because of global warming causing the Northern Hemisphere, especially Europe and the United States, to have below normal temperatures. Wait a second, the entire Southern Hemisphere is way below normal as well. That is not global warming. That is a grand solar minimum fingerprint saying, wake up, your life's about to change. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. And if you're looking for more commentary just like this, Mini Ice Age Conversations, Tri-Weekly Podcast, anywhere you can find a podcast hosted across the net.